Uh, Hi friends, today I want to tell you about a new topic. Recently we have seen in news, that is uh, earthquake occurred in Delhi. So though it was a less magnitude earthquake, but still we have to think upon it and we have to see what are the various reasons behind that. So let's move on to the topic. So what are earthquakes first? Earthquakes are tremors or shaking observed on the surface of the earth due to when the surface of the earth comes into contact with seismic waves. So when the seismic waves occur when the surface, the rocks beneath the surface experiences the extensive pressure from the surface, and when this pressure exceeds the critical elastic limit, then the rocks will break. So when the rock breaks, the potential energy produced from produced from that breaking converts into kinetic energy and occur in the form of seismic activity, seismic waves. So when these seismic waves touch the earth, it leads to tremors on the earth surface. So according to the seismological research letters in 2017, they told more than 700 earthquakes, human induced earthquakes have been recorded uh, around the world in last 150 years, and in these days it's becoming more common. So these earthquakes can occur due to various reasons. So first of all, if you see the natural reasons when the earthquakes occurs means when there is a convergence or divergence of plates. We can understand that the divergence and the convergence through plate tectonics. So we know the surface, the earth, what we are living on is formed with the various major and minor plates. When these plates come in contact with each other, called as convergence, or when they diverge from each other, we can observe these earthquakes. But these days the earthquakes what we are observing are due to man-made and human-made mistakes and human activities. These are called as human-induced earthquakes. So what are the various reasons for these human-induced earthquakes? So maybe we can say mining, or like construction of big dams, that impounding water behind the dams, and construction of big buildings, extracting groundwater especially, and injecting fluids into the ground, and engineering coastal structures. So these are the few reasons we can say as for the human induced earthquakes. So these reasons will contribute to strain and pressure to accumulate between the two plates, which leads to earthquakes. So scientists nowadays doing research on all these things, how these earthquakes are observing, and they are also still studying how the water below and above the surface induces earthquakes. And in 2022, a study told that shallow earthquake in Delhi National Capital Region linked to excessive groundwater extraction. So we know the reasons why we are extracting more groundwater. For that, so many reasons will be there. Climate change, and what we are cultivating is full water intensive crops. All these reasons are leading to the extraction of more groundwater. And the same study told that since from 2003 to 2012, the depleting water table we have seen. Water table means water in ground reduced drastically, so which leads to seismic activities. And but after 2014, this water table again got stabilized due to various we can say various reforms, various policies, various programs introduced by government, like uh, percolation, related to percolation tanks and tree plantation. Tree plantation leads to percolate more water into the soil. And when we focused our things on what we call river water purification, like we are doing cleaning Ganga program, all these things, when the river water, pure water is available, we'll tend to depend less on groundwater. So all these things led to water table stability. And so so how this groundwater will uh, induce earthquake means, when we extract the groundwater from the ground, it will create a space. So we know when water is there, and if we keep something on that, if we remove that water, it will create a space, we tend to fall. So the same thing happens with the in with the earthquakes also. So when this groundwater, we extract more groundwater, it will leads to create a space, so it will lead to earthquakes. And before the scientists found this reason as the reason for the earthquakes, before it was the construction of large dams. So large dams create a pressure and put pressure on the surface of the earth, and it will leads to breaking of rocks, and again it leads to earthquakes. So we have seen in 1967 earthquake of 6.3 magnitude in Koina Nagar, a village in Maharashtra, faced faced the earthquake, which led to loss of so many lives and so much of infrastructure damage and disaster we have seen. So for these dam induced earthquakes, US came up with a new method called, it implemented a regulation that how quickly a dam should be filled and emptied. It came up with that regulation. So we have to follow this, and before constructing a dam in an area, we have to uh, properly evaluate and the region, whether the region is proper and suitable for the construction of dam or not. And one more reason is our growing demand for electricity day by day with the increasing population, is also one of the reasons uh, behind the earthquakes. Like when we depend more on energy, we are consuming more energy, means we need a more oil to produce that energy, and we need more hydropower. So this is the reason. And fracking means injecting a liquid into the ground to push rocks away from each other, which allow us to extract the oil and natural gas. So this fracking leading to deformation of plates, like blending, like bending, cracks, this fracking leading to the deformation. So we have to monitor and we have to track how this where this deformation is happening, and according to that we have to take the precautions, we have to be ready before. And how now we'll see how climate change is inducing these earthquakes. Climate change is indirectly leading to earthquakes, like melting of glaciers. We know why, due to the global warming, can trigger earthquakes around the regions of Greenland, Antarctica, etc. And change in rainfall pattern, which again lead to uh, water, what we call the water load on the surface, again leads to earthquakes. For example, area around the Sayadri ranges of Western Ghats has been recording the tremors due to the heavy rainfall. So water load on the surface is increasing due to the heavy rainfall, is inducing the earthquakes again. And actually, due to rainfall, mountains, the height of the mountain is tend to reduce because of the erosion, weathering, mass movements, etc. But we are hearing that from the scientists, the geologists, that the height of the Himalayas is increasing decade by decade is because of the seismic activity happening behind under the Himalayas. Himalayas are the mountains formed because of the convergence of two continental plates, which are Indian plate and Eurasian plate, which leads to suture zones, because of which resulted in the Himalayan formation. So because of these seismic activity, the height of the Himalayas are increasing day by day. And changing rainfall pattern also leads to earthquakes, because once the rainfall pattern changes, maybe the soil chemistry, the soil texture will change. So according to the changing texture and chemistry, we have to change our cropping patterns. Maybe those cropping patterns may tend the farmers to depend more on water intensive crops. Again it is the stress on the groundwater. So all these changes and long droughts also can lead to reactivate the seismic faults. Example, the earthquake in California in 2014 is because of the longer drought. So these are some of the reasons uh, contributing to the earthquakes. So what happened in Delhi, it's just an alarm we have to take. And from now onwards, we have to be very careful, because all the reasons behind the earthquakes, especially human induced earthquakes, the reasons behind the human induced earthquakes, we are seeing everything now. Groundwater depletion, and fracking also we are doing for the energy, and climate is changing, agriculture patterns are changing, we are seeing the long droughts also, and changing the groundwater content below and above the surface. So all these are we are observing in our daily life. So these may leads to earthquake with greater magnitude. So we have to be cautious, and take precautions, and our uh, disaster management, we should be able to manage our disasters. So government is still taking the precautions, and still the scientific research is also going on. What are all other reasons behind the earthquakes? This is what I want to tell you about. If I missed something and if I went somewhere wrong, please comment in the comment box. Thank you.